Well, what inspired me to revisit Too Much Punch for Judy was the direction that Charlie had done on the OIT Wheellerplays Definitive Authors Collection DVD, where he and the group had developed the accident scene way beyond the way in which I'd ever done it back in the 80s when we were doing it. And if there's one thing that I go into schools more than anything else, it's to work on Too Much Punch that schools are studying and to look at the accident scene. And I thought Charlie and that little group of people took it on further. And I wanted to do a whole production that would embrace that new physical theatre that was now in existence through Frantic Assembly, through Circus. And so we did the production and we developed all our physical theatre that we kind of learnt throughout Jack, and we'd learnt throughout the period of OYT. We had a really mature cast to present it, and we got this production put onto DVD. So this is the 25th anniversary production, and whilst doing that, I thought it would be a really good idea to look at the script and place it in the context of its historical time. So it happened in, I think, 1983, and we were then in 2013, so it was a 30-year production, and we wanted, it was a 25th anniversary anyway, it was, we wanted to bring it up to date and also place it in that context of, this was a lady who had committed a second accident. She hadn't learned from it. How can we expect propagandist theatre to teach an audience? Does it work? And it kind of raised a question about itself, self-referential, thinking, does this work? So we went through the bob and knob scenes, and I felt some of the bob and knob bits were a bit dated and were kind of didn't work as well as I wanted them to. So integrated into that a history thing, putting it in the context of the time where the original accident happened, which was really lovely. And one of the professional productions that happened later on in London did a wonderful thing with a kind of spinning between bob and knob and the history bits, and a lovely soundtrack to that. And it just made the production new and fresh, but looked at the old production, which of course ends with her famous lines, "I will never drink and drive again," and we know that she did. So it just gave me a new way of looking at a very old production. And just a little funny note, this poor child, I'm not going to show his face for long, but this poor child had to appear in the Daily Mail in an article because his mum complained about the language in the play, or the attitudes in the play. There was a line, get them drinking, stop them thinking, and made a big fuss about this, which I understand. And actually, if the school had had the proper version of the play that was the current date, it would never have happened, because that was one of the bits that had gone 2 years before. So, and also, the Daily Mail coverage led to a little spike in sales. So, you know, these things are weird. I was very worried for the drama teacher. I felt seriously sorry for the little boy. And I kind of I wrote to the drama teacher. We had quite an extended conversation. But the little boy I didn't ever hear of. It'd be lovely to know what he actually felt about his mum making him sit like that and do that. I would have hated it. You can just go to the school and talk about things, and you know, you don't need to go to the Daily Mail. But thanks, because that gave the play a little boost. And the other thing that happened is that I was getting frequently, and lovely, really nice to get this, kind of emails like, I'm going to find it eventually. Hi, I'm currently studying performing arts at A-level. After reading the first couple of pages of Too Much Punch for Judy, I fell in love with it. How nice. It's been written with so much thought and effort. I can't wait to read the next one. As part of my course, we have to produce a showcase, which includes choose solo pieces, blah, blah, blah. I need to produce a working log which explains the context of the play and the social and historical influences to the examiner. If you could reply, that would be truly helpful. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'd love to write a book telling the story of Too Much Punch for Judy. And that's what I did. Zinc, who published at that point the play, didn't want to take it up, which I was really surprised at. So I went out on my own with, not on my own, with Barry Sapsford, who was in the original production. And we produced, I think it's a dream of a book, really nice, accessible to students, lots of different kinds of pages with my diary, with accounts from the original cast, pictures of the original production, posters from the original production, and there's John and Faye, who were in the Epping Youth Theatre production in Edinburgh. And it just beautifully laid out by Barry, who had since become a designer. And I was able to tell the whole story, put its historical context and everything, and then do something about the accident scenes at the end. And then right at the end, talk about the production that we just... Oh, there's Barry and me. I'll have to show you a picture. The lovely Barry Sapsford and myself, and a picture of the Oakland's Youth Theatre production, which we did. Well, there we are, in rehearsal. We were in our brand new theatre at this point. That was us in rehearsal as the book was being prepared. And it's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done, to write a book telling this story. And great news this week is that we did it under our self-publishing, which was Ping, but fantastic news this week. I think contracts are being signed with a proper drama publisher, finally, to release this book and a whole load of other of my stuff, and there will be news about that. I'll put it in a little bit in YouTube underneath. But this answered everything for that lad, and that lad's name was Nick. I think Nick Williams, I think. So thanks, Nick, for the idea to produce the book. It was lovely revisiting all that era, and have a look for it. It'll be on Amazon if it's not anywhere else, but it will be elsewhere. And that was Too Much Punch for Judy, and that was the last thing I did with it. And wow, that lovely physical production has been captured on DVD, and it is a great DVD of our production, and I think that's going to be available with the same publisher. So, good news.